Hi, kindergarten. So I did two books that I think you'll all really enjoy. They're done by the same author and the same illustrator. The author and illustrator is called Chris Van Dusen, and I read Randy Riley's Big Hit, and then during one of our class Zooms, and then I read If I Built a Car during one of our nighttime Zooms. And I've been referring to both of them. And maybe you read one, but you didn't get to listen to the other. So I thought I would make two videos. I'll do Randy Riley's Really Big Hit first. And then I'll do another video that I'll put on our newsletter, which is If I Built a Car. So you can watch the videos instead of watching like the full half-hour Zoom session. Randy Riley's Really Big Hit. So I'm going to open this up, and you can tell the front and the back connect. Randy Riley's Really Big Hit. Randy Riley stood at bat. He gazed out at the mound. His knees began to tremble. His heart began to pound. Then Randy started thinking about the pitcher's throw. He wondered without gravity how far the ball would go. And as he stood there pondering, strike three went whizzing by. "You're out," he heard the umpire call, then walked off with a sigh. Oh, so poor Randy struck out at bat. See, Randy was a genius. That means he's so smart. He just couldn't hit the ball. He struck out every time at bat. He wasn't good at all. But something beyond baseball brought a smile to Randy's face. What Randy Riley really loved was stuff from outer space. So Randy Riley, he might not be that great at baseball, but that's okay. A lot of people are good and enjoy a lot of different things. Thank goodness. Could you imagine if everybody liked the same thing and was good at the same thing? That would be so boring. Let's see what Randy's good at. He studied all the planets. He memorized their tilt. He researched how the thrusters on the rocket ships were built. He knew the constellations and the light years to the stars. And wouldn't it be great, he thought, to ride a bike to Mars? Oh, I love how he's thinking. So different. A lot of you have things that, like different things that you're interested in, and then you learn about them like you've been doing for your All About books, and then you write about them and you teach us about all of these cool different things. That's what makes it so neat when people enjoy different things. When Randy Riley got back home, he went up to his room. He knew he stunk at baseball, and it filled his heart with gloom. So he took his favorite robots from the shelf above his bed and staged a game of baseball with a robot team instead. That night before he went to sleep, Randy scanned the sky, and through his Spaceboy telescope, a glimmer caught his eye. He fiddled with the focus till he saw it crystal clear. It was a massive fireball, and it was coming near. Alarmed, he started plotting the projection of its path. He formulated diagrams, he double-checked his math. He calculated quickly and concluded with a frown. In 19 days, the fireball would crash into his town. Oh boy, so a telescope is like a really powerful magnifying glass where you can see things so, so far away, things all the way out into space. That's how far away you could see them. Oh boy, look at this. Randy Riley flew downstairs to warn his mom and dad. The impact would be major. The damage would be bad. He explained the situation till his face was red, but they told him he was tired. And they sent him off to bed. So look at Randy's facial expression here. He looks kind of worried, right? And look at his dad and his mom. They don't really seem worried at all. Poor Randy couldn't sleep at all. He thought the whole night through. By morning, it was obvious just what he had to do. He gathered what he needed with determined resolution and lugged it off behind the shed to work on his solution. Oh boy. Randy toiled for 18 days while other kids had fun, but he was on a mission, so he worked till he was done. Everybody burst outside as fear and panic grew. Oh, I thought I skipped a page. I sure did. Ooh, look at this picture. I feel like it tells us a lot. Look at his parents' faces now. At breakfast on the 19th day, the news announcer said, "This is a special bulletin. Emergency code red. A fireball's approaching. It just flew past the moon. It's coming fast, so be prepared for it to hit by noon." Oh boy, emergency. Everybody burst outside as fear and panic grew, but Randy ran back to the shed. He had a job to do. You can see all the neighbors running out into the street. It looks like Randy Riley's mom is outside with that coral dress on. Oh dear. He grabbed the tarp and gave a tug. It slid off to reveal the mighty mammoth robot man he'd welded out of steel. Look at that. The robot needed power, and Randy knew precisely that 97 batteries would energize it nicely. The eyes lit up, the engine whirled. Step one was now complete. So far, so good, thought Randy. Then they thundered down the street. So think about thundering down the street. Thunder makes a loud noise, right? So if you're thundering down the street, you're like, ooh, making like loud noises, which a big robot like this would definitely thunder down a street and make loud noises. Step 2 of Randy's mission took place just south of town in a section known as Millville, where he slowed the robot down. The robot ripped the smokestack off an old abandoned mill. Then Randy turned the throttle knob to march him up the hill. Back in town, the people were frightened as could be, but Randy knew the time had come for critical step 3. The robot burst out through the trees, stepped up and took a stance, while everyone fell silent as if frozen in a trance. Randy's eye was on the ball. No room for error now. 3, 2, 1, and flip the switch. A swoosh, and then kapow! A blind flash, a booming crash, he know what he had done. Randy Riley had a hit, his very first home run. The fireball sailed out of sight. A rousing cheer began. Hooray for Randy Riley and his giant metal man! And as the crowd went crazy, Randy stood there with a grin and mumbled, how predictable, a fastball, low and in. So do you see Randy's remote control that he uses to control what the robot does? So Randy Riley has a hard time hitting a home run on his own, but he does a really good job of hitting a home run when he's using a remote control to control a robot he built. When things returned to normal after Randy saved the day, he went back to the baseball field to join his friends at play. And though he swings in earnest, he rarely hits the ball. But that's okay, because Randy's had the biggest hit of all. Oh boy, look at his robot in the outfield. I hope you enjoyed, friends.